What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. Welcome back to the show that is all about Corvettes, about the ownership, the expected maintenance, pretty much anything Corvette related you're going to find right here on this channel. Welcome back for, I don't know, probably the 200-300th time. We've done a lot of these. Every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can come here and find the Corvette Weekly show. This month is obviously sponsored by E5 Wheels. You guys can see that up at the top right corner of your screen. Whatever the sponsor for the month is, you'll see their logo up there. We're also going to have a little bit of a giveaway based on that particular sponsor. So that's a good way to know what the giveaway is going to be for the month, is to take a look at the top right of your screen. Typically, that's going to tell you everything you need to know. But tonight, we actually have two different giveaways. Because again, the E5 Wheel giveaway is a $500 gift certificate to the E5 Wheels website, where you can then choose the wheel of your liking and save $500 on it. But that's not going to be given away until the end of January. So what are we giving away today? Aside from getting entered to win that at the end of the month, we're also going to be giving away carbon fiber strut tower covers. So a little piece of carbon fiber that will go on the strut towers of your C8 Corvette. And those are typically around $250, $300. Again, tonight, as usual, every entry is going to be $10. Anything $50 or higher is going to get you double entries. Now, again, for those of you who are channel members, you're going to get a free entry. All you got to do is press that number 1 in the chat. Let me know that you are here with your free membership setup, and I'm going to make sure that you get entered in. Now, if you are not a member, I will paste a link in the chat, just like I always do, where you can go to become a member. And once you become a member, it's actually cheaper than the $10 that you would normally spend to be entered in on this giveaway. Instead, it'll be $4.99. You'll be a member of the channel, and you will get a free entry. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in 1 second here. But here we go. So in the chat, you are going to see the way that you become a member if you're not one yet, because that will get you a free entry for today. So with all of this said, we're going to talk a lot tonight about the C8 Corvette ZR1. Of course, you guys have no doubt seen the announcement of the price, and the price is interesting, right? So a little bit different than what a lot of us had expected. Some people speculated a good bit lower. Some, like myself, speculated a good bit higher. So here we are actually at a decent price for the ZR1. So I know almost everybody was set at that 150 mark. I knew it wasn't going to be 150. I bet you it was going to be at one point, but when GM realized, yeah, we can get 1,000 horsepower out of this engine, they probably bumped the price up a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, really nice to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in, Darren, Bill. Yeah, Bill Miller getting your free entry. Okay. Everybody's getting the free entries. I like it. I like it. If you're not a member, like I said, save yourself $5 to get in on this giveaway. Go grab a membership at the link I posted there. I did see a question, actually more of a statement pop up here from NBA Live. He says that the Zora is definitely going to be priced at $199,995. So that is not likely the case. We talked about this before. I actually made a video about it where Taj specifically said that the C8 Corvette ZR1 was going to be the most expensive Corvette that they made in the C8 lineup. That means whatever they do with the Zora is going to be priced at the same price as the ZR1 or lower. It's not going to be higher. Now that factors into another comment that I got on right before we even went live here, and that was from Bob, who says, anyone think they will add a checkbox for the E-Ray front motor option? I think that's how they're going to do it. Because now they can charge more for that car, even though it's still technically a ZR1 with a Zora option. That's probably how they're going to do it. Because otherwise, the Zora would have to be more expensive than the ZR1 if it's the same car with a front motor, a front hybrid motor setup. Let's see. ZR1 price is spot on. Yep. It's actually surprising that they went, I hate to use the word cheap because that is definitely not a cheap price, but it's cheaper than I thought it was going to be. So, We have a lot to talk about with the ZR1 tonight, though, because outside of the price, there is still a lot of details of that price that we haven't discussed much about. So we're going to be doing that tonight. There's a lot of details, specifically just off the top of my head, the gas guzzler tax. That was not mentioned. So guess what? You guys think that that price is pretty good? Well, there's fees on top of it, even outside of the over MSRP charges you're very likely to see that are going to add to that price. But in the meantime, guys, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Let us know you're liking the content so we can keep creating this kind of stuff for you. I don't think Shane is in the house tonight, so I'm going to have to be the guy that does all the thumbs upping. So if you guys can, please, let's hit 100 thumbs ups by 8 o'clock. That's 24 minutes from now. We can do it. Smash the thumbs up. We're going to be talking about the ZR1, the stuff you guys want to talk about. We're going to be talking about that tonight. We're also going to be giving away some really cool stuff. Like I said, E5 wheels, $500 gift certificate. If you're a member of the channel, you're going to get a free entry. If you want to donate $10 is an entry. If you want to donate 50 or more, it's double entries. And you could win $500 off of a set of E5 wheels. That will be given away at the end of this month. If you want to get in for the giveaway tonight, let me grab it. It is going to be carbon fiber strut tower covers. So as you can see here, front and back, real carbon fiber. So these things are typically around $300. You can win them today for a donation of $10. So as usual, guys, super chat or Venmo, either way you want to do it, we'll get you entered. I already got one entry from Jay here. Jay's in for $10, but he's looking to apply that to the E5 wheel giveaway. So if you guys want to get entered on the giveaways, now's your chance. So let's see. Kevin Horan says, how many of us would, with a Z06, would trade it for a ZR1? That sounds like a fantastic poll. Let's go ahead and add that as a poll. If you have a Z06 currently, you have to currently own one. If you own a Z06, would you trade it for a ZR1? There it is. So that's a great question, guys, because I'm kind of battling with that myself. I don't really know if the extra cost of the ZR1 is necessarily worth it. So you're going to be spending almost $100,000 more than you did on your Z06 for the ZR1. And is it worth it? Because the car overall is not really that much different. I mean, I guess I can give you 1,064 reasons why it's different, but at the same time, no, not a straight up trade. So you're basically going to sell your Z06 and then pay the extra money for the ZR1. I guess I should have been a little bit more descriptive here. You'd have to trade your Z06, sell your Z06, whatever, and then you're going to pay the additional money to move up to a ZR1. Would you want to do that? Is it worth it to you? Yeah, I mean, Chili Pepper, if it was the same exact cost, I'd just trade one for the next. I would have, this wouldn't even be a question. But since there is a decent amount of price increase involved in this, is it worth it? Because, I mean, the Z06 is already a really freaking good car. I mean, I love my Z06, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm really curious to see. By the way, let's all welcome Ron to the HPO, the loyal HPO fan club. Ron, you're going to get a free entry now into the giveaway as well. So let's get Ron in here. All right. So let's see. Ryan says, if you had that kind of money, it would be worth it. So you think instead of buying the Z06 at around 150, you'd be okay buying the ZR1 at around 210-ish. Because honestly, you could get the Z06 as cheap as probably 115 right now, and the ZR1 as cheap as 175, assuming there's no markups here, guys. This is all hypothetical at this point. So you're looking at roughly $60,000, and that price continues to go up, difference between the Z06 and the ZR1 at its base form. Do you think it's worth that much more money? Great point. 10-second Eclipse, or 10-second Z06, man, says, remember, car insurance prices will be ridiculous too. So car insurance is going to go up. The overall experience may go up depending on how this engine is held in regards. I mean, a lot of people are questioning the reliability of this thing. I'm pretty confident GM has the reliability aspect nailed, but who knows? Brandon's Garage. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. He says, if tuning was unlocked on Z06, I would keep Z06. It's a good point. I am of the mentality that I don't think the tuning will ever be unlocked on the Z06. I very highly doubt that's ever going to happen. Let's see here. He's going to make us broke, yeah. That's a great question. Am I getting a ZR1? As of right now, I have 2 really good possibilities to get the ZR1. We'll just say that. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I really don't, because price is still a factor here for me. I don't know. The Z06 I have it set up in such a perfect way for me. I really don't know if I want to get rid of it. And there's no way I can afford both. So the Z06 has to go if I were to get a ZR1. It depends. If one of you guys want my Z06, make me a great offer, and then that's gonna make the question a lot easier to answer. If someone buys my Z06 for a good price, there's your answer. I'm pretty sure I have the part of MSRP and one of the first allocations out there. I have that part figured out. But I don't know if I want to do it based on price. Yeah, so Steve Robertson, he paid $194,000 for his Z06 plus sales tax. That's insane. So imagine doing that again, possibly another $50,000 to $75,000 on top of what you paid for the Z06 for the ZR1, for a car that looks, functions, and just basically is very similar to the Z06 you already have. Would it be worth it to you, Steve? Steve Robertson, you might be one of the best ones to ask. Would it be worth it to you? These are not allocations I can pass on to anybody, Bill. Unfortunately, if I don't take it, it will go to the next qualified person. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with them if I decide to pass. I also can't take it and then sell it. So those are not options. That's a good point, Adam. I thought a lot about that too. But again, do I make up the difference in the price of this car on YouTube? I would have to literally make an additional $50,000 to $75,000 on my content with the ZR1 to make it worth my while. I don't know that that would happen. If someone buys my Z06 for a decent price with all the mods, literally everything would go with it. So I'm not talking about the car's not going to be $120,000. It's going to be more than that. If someone bought it for the right price, I would definitely entertain the ZR1 a little bit more. Again, Bill, I can't give the allocations away, unfortunately. And yeah, they're going to try to bury you on the trade, which is why I'm not trading it. I would definitely sell it outright because I have a number in my head I want to get for the car. And if I don't get at least that, I'm not going to do this. Seawolf Z06 says, I would love to buy your Z06, Justin. It's a beauty. Make me an offer. I'd love to sell it to you. I think that would be fantastic to sell it to you and actually get to see it every year at Carlisle too. That'd be awesome. I'll sell you my Z06. I'll get a ZR1. Brand's Garage says, I feel like you have to get it, Justin. That being said, money-wise, I don't know if the aftermarket will have the things to do mods due to production. It's not cost-effective. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns with the ZR1 right now. And I mean, there's a lot of unknowns even with the price. As of right now, we have the price of the MSRP of the car, the 3LZ and the ZTK package. But I mean, there's a lot of options on these cars. All of this stuff is going to add up. Plus, we don't know what the gas guzzler fee is going to be yet. If I had to guess, my car at MSRP is still going to be $210 to $220 before taxes. So add another probably $15K on that for taxes. You're still looking at a $235,000 car at MSRP. That's just wild to me. I mean, I paid I think it was $148 for my Z06, somewhere around there. And it's like this ZR1 is going to be almost $100,000 more. It's insane. And that's another a good point. Jay Brazelton says, where do you live, or where do you drive it, and can you really justify the car difference between the Z06 and ZR1? That's exactly what we're asking here. So does it make sense to go with a car that's that much car? I don't know. I've never been the guy to say no to this. Just so we're all on the same page, I've never been that guy that says, oh, you don't need more horsepower. Of course you need more horsepower. You always do. I mean, look at the name of this channel. We can't be obsessed with horsepower if we're saying no to it. But at the same time, is it worth it? There's a fine line to walk here. Exactly. You'd have to pay the tax and the gas guzzler tax again, too. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to consider here. Bryce says, are you able to test drive it before you buy it? Most dealerships won't let you. But, I mean, especially the early cars, the ones that are going to be available in 2025, they're going to be pre-sold. So, I mean, they're not going to have trouble selling these cars by any means, at least not in the beginning. So they're not really going to be pressured at all to allow people to drive their cars. Brennan's Garage says, how much did you pay for your C7 ZR1? That car had an MSRP of $141. I paid $130. So I paid $11K under MSRP. It would look good in my garage, Bill. I don't doubt it. I will accept donations. If you really want to see that car in my garage, I need to raise at least $200,000. Oh man. That's pretty much it. 10 seconds Z06. It's really not worth it other than bragging rights. You pull into a car show and say, hey, this thing's stock with 1,064 horsepower. That's a pretty cool bragging right. But is that worth $100,000? Yeah. And this isn't really a problem for me, but for everybody else, you'd have to pay for PPF again. All of the mods that I've done in my Z06, pretty much every single one of them, I would do again to the ZR1. So it's like so much money, so much time. I mean, that is good content. It is good for content. But at the same time, man, I don't know. This is a great point, actually. You have a turbo in your logo. If that is a nice sign, I don't know what is. So this is a good point because I do have a turbo in the logo, and I've not owned a turbo car since I created my YouTube channel. So maybe it is time to own a turbo car. Actually, technically, if you look at the full logo, there's 2 turbos. So then it's even more of a sign. Oh, man, that's a great point. Brandon's Garage says, does Amber need both of her kidneys? I don't think she does. I mean, she could get away with just one, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll fill up the bathtub full of ice tonight. We'll see what happens. That's a joke. That's a joke. All right, so Chili Pepper says, will ZR1 prices drop like the Z06 have? I doubt it. The ZR1 typically, I mean, it's hard to say because if I'm going off the C7 the 7th generation, like I have in the past with pricing and stuff, I would say no because it didn't with the C7. But the C7 was only a year run. They only made around 2,800 of them. It's hard to say. That's hard to say. If they make as many ZR1s as they have Z06s, then yeah, probably. But if they don't, which I don't think they will for multiple reasons, if they keep this relatively low production numbers, which I know GM has said that they're not going to limit production of this car. But I think the price of this car and the fact that this car is all carbon fiber is going to limit how many of these cars they sell. And if that's the case, the lower the amounts that they sell, the higher the resale price will always be for it. Yeah, she is going to kill me. She's down. I'm sure she's fuming down there now. But guys, if you want to donate to the potential kidney that will be for sale here soon, let me know. Again, that's a joke. That's true. Sell your house and live in the C7. I could do that. You can live in a car. You can't race a house. So, I mean, I guess that is true. Amber said he wants me to sell a kidney. Oh, such true love. Hey, if she sells one, I'll sell one too. Maybe then that'll be worth enough. But anyway, guys, let's talk a little bit about some numbers on the ZR1, some pricing, and actually, you know what? Let's start with this as an option for those of you, myself included, because I've done this. If you really want a ZR1, but you know you can't afford it, here's your option. Here it is. So for those of you who don't know what this is a ZR1 giveaway. You could potentially win a ZR1 for a pretty small donation on this website. The links are in the description down below. You get additional entries for clicking on the link here on the Horsepower Obsessed YouTube channel. You could win this car. And I've actually donated, I don't even want to tell you how much I've donated to this because I want to get the car, but it's so expensive. I just don't know. So anyway, if you want to win a ZR1, especially the competition yellow, check out the link in the description down below. You get an additional, I think, 25% basically entries when you buy this off from the link in the description down below. But if you're not a big fan of the competition yellow and you would rather have a red one, you can do that too. So this is the Torch Red ZR1, again, the ZTK Coupe. This one also is going to get you 50% extra bonus entries. So if you decide you want to do this, 25 bucks, get an entry, see if you can win it. I mean, honestly, worst case scenario, you don't win. Best case scenario, you do, and you get to laugh at me for paying $200 plus for one because you want it for free. Now, a lot of you out there, I've heard a lot of people talking about how they don't think these things are real. There's actually a guy at Corvettes at Carlisle, I've talked to him twice now, who won his C8 Corvette. He brings it to the show. He won his C8 Corvette through one of these. So you can literally talk to somebody who has won one of these at Corvettes at Carlisle. So this is legit, and the links are in the description down below. Throw 25 bucks at it. Worst case scenario, you're benefiting the MS Solutions Foundation, which is, you know, good cause. So you win the car or you help somebody in a tough situation. I think that's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. So yeah. Ron says he's in on all the giveaways, and for 25 bucks, you might as well try it. Worst case scenario, like I said, you don't win. You're benefiting, you know, a good cause. General Lee says, I would love to have the ZR1. However, that's simply too much power for me. I barely get away with the 670 horsepower. I hear you. I'll never see the track, so driving on the streets, I would never reach its limits. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, General. I've been on the track a handful of times with my Z06, and honestly, even on the track, I struggle to see how you could possibly need more than the Z06. There's a couple reasons outside of price that I'm still kind of on the fence. The ZR1, the power difference, you're really not going to notice a giant power difference until well past 60 miles an hour because of how much traction control is going to be playing a part in the speeds up to 60. So unless you're spending a lot of time at 80 plus, you're not even going to notice that this is a different car than the Z06. Now, if I was in a Stingray and I was thinking, okay, I want to move up to either the Z06 or ZR1, I'd probably just jump to a ZR1 if I had the money, because it makes more sense. I haven't experienced the Z06 yet, but if I experiencing the Z06 the way I have, all the mods I've done to it, power adding mods as well, jumping from that to the ZR1, I almost feel like it's going to be, I don't want to say disappointing because it's definitely not going to be disappointing, but till 60 or 70 miles an hour, you're not even going to notice the difference. So it's really, I don't know. It's tough for me to really picture it, I guess, is the best way I can put it. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, guys, if you want to try to win the ZR1, that's probably most of our best bets. If you're going to win a ZR1, it's probably the easiest way most people are going to get one. Let's see. Again, guys, keep in mind, we are doing the giveaway tonight, and smash the thumbs up button. Let's keep going with the thumbs ups. Where are we at? We are at 81. We need 19 more in 5 minutes. So, guys, smash the thumbs up button. Professor Corvette says we'll be trading his Z06 for a ZR1. Nice, nice. What's up, AARPM? How you doing, man? Flying Cop Car says, I think with recent prices of the Z06, it doesn't make sense to pay $100K more for the ZR1. And that's the thing, is I I don't think the ZR1 will maintain 100K more than a Z06 forever. I think, especially if GM really does start cranking out ZR1s, it's good. The price of those is going to come down too. But at the same time, I don't know that that's going to happen based on how much the car is and how much carbon fiber use there is on the car by default. So a lot of the carbon fiber on the car, like the boomerangs, the front little gurney flap thing, a lot of this stuff is factory carbon fiber now, and there's no option for it to come in carbon flash. So if GM runs into a supplier issue for those parts, it's not really just something you can opt out of. The car literally doesn't come without it. So yeah, guys, if we could please smash the thumbs up button. We're going to be talking a lot about the ZR1 tonight, and I know that's what you guys are interested in. So smash the thumbs up. Let's get to 200 or 200 by the end of the night. We just hit 100 right now. So let's keep going. Let's get to 200 by 8:30. Robert says, I'm putting my order in for ZR1 next month. Nice. Nice. Steve Robertson says, the Z06 is such a different car than the Stingray. Maybe not the case between the Z06 and ZR1. That's exactly my point, Steve. The Z06 was just like, it felt like light years better in every department than the Stingray. And I feel like going from the Z06 to the ZR1, you're not going to get that same feeling. And I don't know, for me, I don't know if that makes it worth it, because whenever I first sat in a Z06, the first time I started it up, the first time I drove it, this car was just massively better for me. And I don't know if I'm going to get that same feeling from the ZR1. That's another thing. You got to give up your frunk. Y Envy says, not giving up my frunk for an extra 100K. I use my frunk more than the trunk in the C8. So I would actually feel that. And that's, again, Mike, I said that earlier. He said you won't notice the difference until after the boost kicks in. And that's typically going to be around 60 or 70 miles an hour, because GM has to limit a lot of that boost through at least the first 2 years to make sure you can maintain traction. Because for those of you out there who own the C8 Z06, you already know traction's an issue with 670 horsepower. So how do we throw almost 400 more horsepower at this thing with the same tires and the same suspension setup and expect that it's going to be any better? The trunk does keep your pizza warm. I'll give it that. It keeps your ice cream warm too. Oh yeah. Hanover Fist says, HPO, you need a test drive of the ZR1. I will definitely do a test drive. I will definitely do a review. I will definitely do all kinds of comparisons with the ZR1, whether I own one or not. That's just the way there. And honestly, the first time I drive one, I'm probably going to be like, yeah, I need to get this. But again, all this hinges on selling my Z06. So if you guys really want to see that happen, if you want to see me get a ZR1, get somebody to buy my Z06. Yeah. And Darren, I honestly don't know that that's not going to happen. He says, imagine the disappointment of dropping another 100K and the car not be that much different in day to day. I would say it's probably not going to be that much different, especially since, like, I've already joked around with it. I said, if I buy this car in black with a ZTK package, I'm going to drive it home and almost no one's even going to know I got a new car, because it doesn't look that different. And it's black with a big wing on it. Like, people aren't even going to notice. But let's talk a little bit about E5 wheels, guys. So they are the sponsor of the channel for the month of January. And they just recently put up on their website here, this is the e5wheels.com/catalog. This is the catalog for 2025. I thought this was pretty interesting because it's kind of interactive, and it shows some of their wheels and talks a little bit about their stuff here. So the very first page that's the red, torch red C8 there is actually Dante's car. And you can see he has the wheels actually on his car. And these are the Speedway wheels. So he has them in titanium on his car, which actually look really good. I'm not a big fan of silver wheels, but at the same time, that looks pretty cool there. So you can see all the different colors that it comes in. You can get the dark bronze or the gloss black, of course. Either way, this is a nice looking wheel on the C8s. Now, these wheels are priced really well. So at the end of this month, if one of you guys wins the $500 gift certificate for the E5 wheel setup, you're going to get these wheels at a really, really good price. Moving on, though, they do actually make these wheels to fit a C7 as well. So here is the Sebring wheel. Again, in the titanium finish, you can get it in the brushed bronze or the gloss black as well. So this wheel is pretty reminiscent of a C6 ZR1 wheel, which is obviously a good look. But you can tell, even on the C7 Z06 that's sitting here, this is actually Jason, front seat driver's car. You can tell the wheels really fill out the wheel well really nicely. So these have better offsets than your stock wheels. They're just going to look better. The last page here, again, another C7 Corvette with the Daytona wheel setup. These look more like a C8 Z06 stock wheel, which is interesting. But basically, same colors. You get the same colors on all three of their wheel setups, the titanium, bronze, or gloss black. But where the very last page here, which is going to be the back side of this magazine, basically, this is where things get really interesting, because they're going to start making the forged wheels. So forged aluminum wheels, and they're going to make them so they fit Stingray, the C8 Stingray, and Z06. Now, these are going to be a little bit smaller wheels. So they're going to go down to 18-inch, because what they're going to do here is this is going to be more so set up for drag applications. So basically, those are the new designs that they have available, which is basically with or without beadlocks. They look pretty cool, and they're going to be your forged aluminum. So again, if you guys are looking for new wheels and you're looking for something that's going to not break the bank, E5 is the place to be. The ownership there is really awesome. I've talked a lot to Dante and his dad. They're at Carlisle all the time. They're at the Bash. Really good people. They really show off their products in a really nice way too. So you really have a nice idea of what this thing's going to look like on your car. Anyway, guys, that is the giveaway for January. So if you want to get in on it, every $10 is an entry, or become a member for $4.99, and that'll get you a free entry as well. Now, we have a lot of other things to talk about here with the ZR1. Brand's Garage says, okay, Justin, say you don't get the ZR1. Will you clone the body panels? I thought a lot about that, actually. Probably not the wing. I'll be honest with you. I'm a big wing guy. I don't know if I love the wing on the ZR1. I think it is massive. I don't know that I don't love it either. So, but with that said, yes, I will definitely get the hood. I love the hood. I love the way the hood looks. It probably will not be functional, though, because I don't love the idea of losing my frunk. But I do like the way it looks, so I will probably do that. The side intakes and they're like the rear shoulder area, if I could make those functional, I probably would do those, because those look cool too. Yeah, so Flying Cop Car, this is exactly the connection I made in my head too. He says the Ferrari 458 has less power, but it's more desirable than the Turbo 488. I think, honestly, the two cars we're talking about, the C8 Z06 and the C8 ZR1, are the 458 and the 488. They're identically set up as far as power is concerned. Both flat plane cranks, very similar setup. So I honestly do believe you could apply that same statement to these two cars. And that's pretty crazy. Yeah, 2020 Matrix 8, Jeremy says, until we can find some way to make the ZR1 sound like his modded Z06, I have no interest in it. And that's the thing, is like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you throw catless downpipes at it, just exhaust after exhaust, straight pipe the thing, it's never going to sound as good as a C8 Z06 with the same setup. It just can't. The turbos are going to muffle it no matter what you do. Now, that's not to say that you can't make the C8 ZR1 sound better. Just, it's never going to sound better than the C8 Z06, because there's nothing muffling the sound on the Z06. Jeremy says, I absolutely do not love the wing on the ZR1. I would put the one for my Z06 on it if I got it. The wing, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think the wing looks okay, and then other times it is a big freaking wing. And you guys know I have a C7 ZR1. I'm a fan of a big wing. The wing on the Z06 isn't exactly small. I made mine a little bit taller than stock. And I still am telling you, I don't know about that ZR1 wing. So let's talk about a little bit of news here. So one of the things, this is obviously still factoring into what we're talking about here, but it's moving to the C8 Z06. This is an interesting one. So over at the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, there was they posted up a thread here called TSB issued for Z06 oil changes. Man, I don't even know about this one. So Chevy literally issues a technical service bulletin for the C8 Z06 oil changes because the dealerships aren't doing it right. Now, this is funny because whenever the Z06, this was maybe 3 to 6 months ago, I had 3 different messages from 3 different subscribers who had taken their cars to the dealership to have their oil changed. And all 3 of them were having the same problem. The mechanic was changing the oil, and after he was done changing it, he checked the level of the oil and it was super overfilled. And then he drained it again, changed it again. It was still overfilled. And this happened on 3 different occasions, 3 different people. Come to find, he was not draining both drain plugs. He was only draining one drain plug and not draining the dry sump tank. And that really boggles my mind because, I mean, this has been a thing since the C7, at least. So you're not draining both of these things. You're leaving a ton of oil in there because most of the oil is in the dry sump tank whenever you go to change the oil in the Z06. And you're dumping new oil in and it's horribly overfilled at this point. So now you got to drain it all again, wasting a bunch of oil. GM had to literally put out a technical service bulletin for this to make sure that they knew to drain both or to remove both drain plugs. I don't even know what to say because this luckily has never happened to me. The dealership that I go to for my oil changes to keep things on par with warranty, he knows what he needs to know. I made sure of that before I entrusted him with my car. I talked to him a lot. Really knowledgeable guy, really nice guy, knows pretty much everything about the Corvette that he needs to know. I trust that he does these things. Not only that, he lets me stand there with a camera in his face. So he knows, he knows what he's doing. But yeah, they go through this entire process, this entire thing, and they make sure that you're referring to the correct bulletin number and everything to basically make sure that you know how to change oil. I mean, this is literally the absolute lowest form of being a mechanic is changing the oil. I mean, oil changes are not difficult. This is something that a 10-year-old could do if you taught them how to do it. So what is it that, how is this a thing? I mean, like I said, this is something that multiple subscribers of mine approached me with early on and were telling me was a problem. And then just now, 6 months later or so, I'm getting a technical service bulletin from GM about this. I don't know. It literally blows my mind. I cannot imagine. I just can't imagine that being the case. It does. It scares me to death. I mean, imagine you should be able to trust the place you bought your car from to also maintain it. So if I buy it from Chevy and I take it into them and I say, here's the keys, go do your thing. I should not have to be scared that they're going to dump way too much oil into this thing because they didn't drain the tanks. This is one of the reasons why I always watch the mechanics. If they allow you to do that, watch them. In my situation, I actually film them. Luckily, Greg at the dealership I use, you guys have probably seen the videos, super nice guy. I don't have this problem. But my God, for the amount of people that have this car now and you're still not able to get it maintained at a freaking dealership, like what is going on? I just had somebody email me the other day about getting an alignment done. I still don't know where you can get an alignment done. Because even though Greg is really good at the dealership that I go to, he doesn't run the alignment machine. So how do I get a car serviced from a place that I purchased it from when they can't even do the alignment correctly? That's a good point, Chris. I know of one dealership like this. They would absolutely, under no circumstance, allow you into the back where they do the work. They claim it's an insurance liability. It might be to some degree, but what it really is they don't want you watching them because they mess up a lot. This is why I drive to where I drive. I drive a little over an hour to get to the dealership that I film at with Greg. It's over an hour away from my house. I pass 4 different Chevy dealerships on the way to this one. This is how important it is to be able to watch the guy, talk to him, make sure he's knowledgeable enough on the whole thing before you trust him with your car. Professor Corvette, I like it. He says, HPO without a C8 ZR1 is like a mountain without dew. Oh man, I love the analogies of this guy. Herman, actually, who just became a member? Pelkey. Welcome to the loyal HPO fan, Pelkey. I'm going to make sure you get your free entry. Pelkey is in for one entry. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, this is a real issue. Imagine this. You just bought your brand new C8 Corvette ZR1. You spent the $100,000 over what it would cost you for the Z06. And you're still having the same problem getting the oil changed at a dealership because they mess things up. I don't know that I love that. And that's 10 seconds Z06. That's how it should be. He says, my dealership offered for me to go back and watch them. One of the dealerships I took it to, my C7 ZR1 to, literally begged me to get in the car and drive it around to the maintenance bay because they don't want to drive these things. And I'm like, you know what? Perfect. If you're scared of it, don't get in it. Let me do it. Nat says, what's the giveaway for tonight? So tonight we are doing technically two giveaways. The first one is for the sponsor of the channel this month, which is right there, E5 Wheels. $500 gift certificate off of their wheels will be given away at the end of this month. So every donation you make will go towards that, whether you win the current nightly giveaway or not. The nightly giveaway for tonight is carbon fiber strut tower covers. So these are real carbon fiber on the front and back. They will cover up your kind of messy looking strut towers in the rear of the C8 Corvette. So every $10 is an entry. If you're a member, you get a free entry. And that entry goes into the E5 giveaway at the end of the month as well. General Lee, it would be my honor. If I have the ZR1 by then, you bet. Professor Corvette says HPO's upcoming new ZR1 gets five Brandons and a David. Nice. Bob, I've been trying, man. Every live video, I'm drinking my Mountain Dew. I'm trying to get that sponsor. And I'll tell you what, if they would sponsor it, I'd slap Mountain Dew on the side of a ZR1 if they want to do that. I'm good with that. Yeah. You'll have a $250,000 supercar, but we'll take it to a Chevy dealer for service. Not quite the service you want or you would get at a Porsche or Ferrari dealership. This is another reason why I think eventually Chevy is at least going to offer like premier maintenance locations, something like that. I think they have to charge that much money for a car and not be able to get it maintained at a normal Chevy dealership is a problem. There's got to be some sort of premium, this particular maintenance bay is only for, C7 or C6 and up Corvettes, however it is how they want to word it. Basically, if you paid a lot for your car, this is where you get it maintained. If you have, a Chevy Cruze or something, you go to the dealership. These would not work for MagRide, but if you really wanted them to, the only difference is there's a hole in the center for MagRide. You could easily drill a hole in that if you really wanted to. ZR1 in Mountain Dew green. I would do that. The Mountain Dew green actually looks a lot like Verde Ithaca, I think it is. I can't remember which green it is on the Aventador. If Matt Hurley's in here, he'd be able to answer. It's either Verde Ithaca or Verde Mantis. I think it's Ithaca. It actually looks really similar, though. Like, if you get real close to it, I would wrap a car that color. Yeah, the CF wheels. Personally, I would stay away from carbon fiber wheels regardless. I was a big fan of the concept of them, and I still am. But factory carbon fiber wheels, they just don't have the right offset. They don't look right on the car because they're not built to the right specs. So the amount of money that it would cost you to just get a nice set of wheels that fit the car perfectly is way less than what those carbon fiber wheels are going to cost. 10 seconds Z06. Do you live in Georgia? I don't think he does. I can't remember now. Seawolf says 100% he would, or he agrees. Seawolf, do you want to, are you going to buy my Z06? Let's get right down to brass tacks here. See, carbon fiber wheels for the street don't make sense. Honestly, they do if they're done right. A lot of people get you scared of carbon fiber wheels because, oh, they're going to crack or blah, blah, blah. You really have to freaking nail a pothole for those to crap. Like really, really hit it. So I would not be scared to own a set of carbon fiber wheels at all. I'm not going to spend the amount of money that GM wants on them if they're not going to look perfect on the car. Northern Maryland. Jeremy, 10 seconds, Z06 lives in Maryland. So, okay. So we covered the Z06 stuff, the unfortunate Z06 things, but there's more. So let's see what else we got. What other news do we have to cover tonight, guys? Not that. So how about this? The other form of cost on the ZR1 that we don't really know about yet, we don't have an official answer on, is the gas guzzler tax. What do you guys think? So let's go through here. So this is over at the Mid-Engine Corvette forum. We're getting some guesses at $3,400 for both. So this is ZTK or non-ZTK cars. So like if you guys don't know, the C8 Z06 had a little bit of a lower gas guzzler tax than the C8 Z07 package car. People are speculating here it's going to be $3,400 regardless. $3,400, that's a lot. That's a lot. This guy says he suspects it won't be much higher than the Z06's tax. Ooh, this guy says $4,200 for full aero. This is the thing. We are kind of up in the air on this. So GM could say, hey, look at this really cool price. We got this car. It's $175. You guys all thought it was going to be $200. Oh yeah, by the way, the gas guzzler tax is $8,000. Like, who knows? At this point, we have no idea. But it should, theoretically, have a better miles per gallon, even if it's only by 1. It should be a little bit better than the Z06s because turbos are typically a little more efficient than just straight up naturally aspirated.
I thought it was miles per gallon.
It is miles per gallon.
Okay.
But you got to pay for those too. It doesn't matter if you're talking miles per gallon or smiles per gallon. They're going to nail you with a $3,500 to $4,000 gas guzzler tax anyway. I would imagine it's going to be between probably $3,200 to $4,000. It is still a lot of money on top of the fact that you're already paying a lot of money for this car. Ugh. Now, yeah, that's true. They did say that, I think it was Taj was talking about how this car would empty out an Olympic-sized swimming pool in a couple minutes or something. Like this thing's it's gonna have a gas guzzler tax. It's gonna be big. Oh man, and then on top of that, you got your insurance. Your car insurance is gonna go way up. You got 1,064 horsepower happening. Your insurance is gonna go up. Guys, if you're watching and you're enjoying the content, please smash the thumbs up button. Let us know you're liking the content. It really helps circulate this video out to new people, get a bunch of people in here, get this community growing every Monday night. Smash the thumbs up. It really, really helps. So other than that, if you guys haven't seen this yet, I figure we might as well talk about this since we've been talking about it all night already. The price for the 2025 Corvette ZR1 starts at $175 basically. Now they did, if you haven't seen this yet, guys, they did actually give us the price for the 3LZ ZTK cars as well. So a 3LZ ZTK coupe is going to be right around $196. A 3LZ ZTK convertible is going to be right around $206. So the prices of everything and the comparisons here are really crazy. The amount of money difference between a ZR1 starting at $173 without destination compared to a new GT3 RS at $241, McLaren 765 at $382, SF90 at 528, and the Revolto at 608. Now, these numbers are really high, and I don't know anybody who's actually touched any one of those cars at that price. Most of them are paying over for those cars too. And not one of them has as much horsepower or torque as the ZR1, nor do any of them have a higher top speed or even comparable. The ZR1 has the most horsepower, the most torque, and is the highest top speed out of all of those cars there, and it costs way less. So as far as cost is concerned, GM definitely nailed it with this car. I know $175,000 is not cheap. Don't get me wrong. I'm not acting like that's a cheap price, because it's not. But it is considerably less than what you're going to spend on any other car performing even close. What's up, Patrick? Patrick says he loves the content, Justin. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate that.
Hi, Patrick.
Amber says hi. That's a good question. Charles says, what is the gas guzzler tax for the 488? Let's see if I can find it real quick. It is gas guzzler tax for Ferrari 488. I'm not seeing an... Oh, wow. So this actually says for cars tested at 12.5 miles per gallon or less are charged $7,700. That's just something I found on Google. I don't know how true that is. Gas guzzler tax. Oh. It looks like they removed it at one point here. Wow, I cannot find what that would be. I figured I'd be able to pop that right up. All right, let's see. Does anybody have the answer for that? Anybody know what the 488? Yeah, MDK, I just saw that. Man, that is crazy. Can you imagine if this car had a $7,700 gas guzzler tax? I could see it happening just because they put out the price of this car and everybody was like, whoa, that's so much less than I thought it was going to be. Oh yeah, by the way, here's an $8,000 gas guzzler tax. God, that would be so disappointing. Yeah, the ZR1 probably has the best quarter mile time too. Actually, it would be pretty close, because I know especially the SF90 is all-wheel drive, so it's probably going to launch better. Man, can you imagine if it's another 10 grand? Jeez, that would be insane. All right, where are we at, guys? We got about 190 people in here watching, 140 thumbs ups. Let's keep going with the thumbs ups, guys. Please smash that thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. Doesn't look like we've had any more entries into the giveaway for tonight. But let's see what we got here. So yeah, we talked about the pricing. Oh, this is a big one. So this kind of factors in, and before we go there, let's go ahead and close out the poll here. I said, if you own a Z06, would you trade it for a ZR1? 57% said yes, 43% said no. So roughly half. That's pretty good. That's 159 votes. What's this? I agree. I'm off Wednesday. Maybe we could bring it out to your shop. Oh. So this is interesting. It just popped up on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum today, and it's talking about the fact that as of now, you can now get the 2024 Corvette Z06 and E-Ray at supplier pricing. Now, what that does for you, it's like a level above, or I guess below dealership or dealer pricing. Dealer pricing still better, but supplier discounts in between. Look at what it does for the price here, though. This particular Z06 is spec'd out at $130,295. Supplier pricing takes it down to $122,357. So these cars are now available for supplier pricing. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, wait a second. That's just the 2024. What about the 2025? Well, the 2025 is available too. So as we scroll down here, sure enough, 2025 E-Ray and Z06 can now be spec'd at supplier pricing. Supplier pricing is going to save you roughly 8 to 10 grand. if you spec out a car pretty nicely, which is that's a pretty decent chunk of change. So this again factored into whether or not you would trade your Z06 for a ZR1, because this isn't going to apply to a ZR1, not yet at least. This is only for the Z06 and the E-Ray. Yeah, guys, that's a great point. 10 Seconds Z06 says there's more votes than thumbs ups. Let's do better, guys. Support the channel with a thumbs up. It really does help. Smash the thumbs up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just helps me out. See you, Wheeler. If you're still in here, sorry, I just now saw that. Professor Corvette says rumor an electron guzzler tax is coming. I've never heard that, but there is something coming for electric cars where you are going to have to pay something. I can't remember what it was. I was just reading about this. Some sort of tax or fee for owning an electric car, because you're not paying, because you have an electric car, you're not paying the tax on gas. So they're implementing something. Don't you worry. The government is going to get their cut whether you have an EV or not. Eventually, the prices of what the people with an EV car pay to charge their car, it's not going to be that much cheaper than just getting a gas car. Mark my words. Got 152 thumbs ups, guys. We got almost 200 people watching. Please keep smashing the thumbs up. Really helps. Yeah, Flying Cop Car says that means for MSRP, you can get a full PPF and tint. Exactly. Guys, check out the last video I did. I mentioned about the fact that I do have a shop in Florida, Fort Lauderdale area. If you're interested in getting any PPF, window tint, or ceramic done, go to that shop. We will take care of you. We'll do it in a very professional manner. Your car will barely look like anything has been done to it with PPF, because you won't be able to see any edges or anything like that. It's the best kind of way to do it. It's the stuff I trust. I trust my cars with those guys. You can trust your cars with them too. That wouldn't surprise me if that's coming, Jay. He says the EVs should have a disposal fee. They probably will. They probably will. So we have supplier pricing now for the 2024 and 25 Z06s and E-Ray, which is interesting. Definitely going to help offset the price here, because now instead of feeling like you're pushed into a ZR1, maybe you get a Z06, maybe you get an E-Ray, and you can get it for significantly less with that supplier pricing, which most people, if you don't know, most people actually have supplier pricing and don't even know it. A lot of places you work offer supplier discounts like this through Ford, Chevy, Toyota, stuff like that. So depending on where you work, you might want to check that out. Professor Corvette, if you decide to bring your car down to blackout tinting in Miami, or it's actually in Fort Lauderdale, I will make sure that your price is done appropriately. So basically, if you come to that shop based off of my channel, I work out a custom price for you. So you won't pay full price. And that goes for any of you guys. If you go through me, you want to come down to my shop, I will make sure that the price is pretty. You know, you already paid a lot for your car. I know that. Let's get you paint protected, window tint, ceramic coating, and I'll get it done for you at a good price. Yeah, Mr. Toybox, sounds like the E-Ray's already getting discounted. So I know the sales are not really as good as GM had hoped they were going to be, but they're offering supplier pricing now. Plus, there are rumors that eventually the price of that car might be slashed. Exactly. John Perkins says, and you get to vacation in Florida while you're getting your vet taken care of. If you're from the north, right now is the time to do that. I mean, my God, today was like a reprieve for us here in Pennsylvania, and it hit 39 degrees. And I stepped outside and it was 39 degrees. I was like, oh my God, it feels so good. Like we've been in the teens the last couple of days. So 39 felt good. Cool Dad stuff. You do trucks there? Yes, we do. We've had a bunch of TRXs coming in and out of there. We actually did a truck the other day, was so long, it barely fit in our tent bay, but we got it done. So, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Discontinued. That was actually another rumor, believe it or not. Very early on, there was a lot of talk about Chevy possibly completely cutting the E-Ray out and replacing it with something, which is where I thought the Grand Sport might come in if they cut the E-Ray out. But I don't know that the sales of the E-Ray are that bad that they're going to completely get rid of it. I think, if anything, they may discount it. Yeah, I thought the Grand Sport might actually replace the E-Ray at one point, but I think the way that the pricing's set up, there is a big gap between the Stingray and the E-Ray, where the Grand Sport would fit perfectly. I still don't necessarily think they should do it, but I've heard from a pretty decent source that it is probably happening. And if it does, to me personally, I feel like that starts to really water down the brand. It starts to get to the point where there's too many. Professor Corvette, if you come down, I'll make sure that there's a Mountain Dew there for you. Kevin Oran says 1 foot of snow today. Unreal. You can stay at the Hard Rock. The Hard Rock is right across the street from where our shop's at. You can literally walk to the Hard Rock from the shop. Almost 20 feet. Yeah, this guy was more than 20 feet. So send me an email, though. Cool dad stuff. Just horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. Let me know what it is you want, and I'll work out a custom price for you. Let me know what kind of truck as well. So, if it's a regular work truck like a Ford F-150, something like that, or if it's some sort of special customized, because the one we were working on, that was actually, it had a, wow, I'm drawing a blank. Basically like a crane in the bed of the truck. So, I mean, the thing was huge, but let me know about that. But just send me an email. We can work out some pricing for sure. This says, I went to a shop to get quotes on Expel, PPF, and window tint. They said they don't recommend tinting the back window, the one above the engine bay. It gets hot and do the engine. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't think we've ever done one. But that shouldn't be an issue. That tint's meant to deal with a lot of heat. And actually, come summertime, I plan on tinting mine. Not physically like that it will look like it's tinted, but I can put one of our films on there that blocks UV rays. I want to put that on there so it will be clear, but it's going to block the UV rays to make sure that it doesn't prematurely age the carbon fiber in the engine bay. So when I go to do that, I'll make a video on it, because that is a question I've had come up before, but I don't think we've ever actually tinted that window. Yeah. Now that the Packers are out of it, I would like to see the Lions and the Bills. I think that would be a really good Super Bowl. I'm tired of the Chiefs. I don't want to see any more about the Chiefs. I think the Lions and the Bills would be pretty cool. Wow, so nice out. I washed the car. That's what I'm talking about. So Glass City Car Nerds obviously lives pretty close to me. It's 39 degrees today, and it felt nice. Like, that's how bad it's been the last couple of days here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I was gonna say 10 second 06. I figured you were gonna say that, but I'm kind of over the Ravens too. Like, I want new teams in the Super Bowl. Like, I haven't in my lifetime. I think I did see the Bills in there once. You've obviously never seen the Lions, so it's like that'd be pretty cool to see those two teams. Oof, yeah. I'm a Packers fan, and I'm saying I'd like to see the Lions in there. The Lions or the Packers are out now, so I'll bet I'll pull out all stops. Seawolf says his money's on the Bills. Nice. All right, guys. So I don't think we actually got any. Oh, we did. I don't know. Mr. O just donated $50 for these. I'm going to put them on for the E5 wheels too, but for these, nobody's really donated anything. So, yeah. Oh, hold on. We might be getting some donations now. All right, so oh, okay. Anthony George. Well, let me ask you guys. So Mr. O and Anthony George, you guys are really the only two that donated for the E5 wheels as well as this. Do either one of you want this? This is a strut tower cover. If not, I'm just going to move all of the donations to the E5 wheel giveaway that will happen at the end of the month. No one really donated for these tonight. So yeah, we just got the two people. Anthony George, Mr. O. Either one of you guys want these? Not really. All right. Well, you're in for the E5 giveaway then. I'll still make sure you're in on that. Anthony George, you're in for 20 entries. And then okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to hang on to these for next week then. We'll give these away next week. Maybe if we have more people that are interested in it then. NBA Live says, what's the difference between AGM and EOS carbon? Honestly, in my experience, I've only compared two products from AGM and EOS, and those two were identical. So I will tell you those two were the same. So there was no difference. Now, I don't want to make a general, blanket statement that all of it's the same because I've only compared two products. But the two that I compared were identical. So, yeah. Well, Nate, we're gonna save these until next Monday night because we don't have a giveaway for next Monday night either. So those will be. I'll definitely give them away next Monday night, but we didn't get any entries that even want them. So I don't know. Yeah. So we're gonna just leave that for next Monday night at this point, I think. All right, so we got 164 thumbs ups, guys. We got 180 people watching. Let's smash the thumbs up. Let's get the last couple thumbs ups rolling. We're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. I really appreciate all the support as usual. Yeah, Tech Speed says same here. Have both AGM and EOS in my engine bay, and they match up well. So the thing that I'll tell you the two items that I matched up were the engine bay area in my car that's all carbon fiber. Those big panels, identical, literally identical. There was no difference in quality, weave pattern, the way they apply, the look, everything was identical. So there's no way that those two products were different. They were from the same supplier, only one of them is significantly cheaper. Yeah. Flying Cop Car says, do you think the ZR1 wing will yellow like the Z07? Yep. Something that GM uses in their carbon fiber comes with a brown tint and it gets worse with heat. So yes, I know it will because my C7 ZR1, it's happening to it too. So their carbon fiber is not really that great. Chopper Larry, the membership entries, I'm going to still move those to next Monday night because we just really didn't get enough entries for this. So your free entry will still apply next Monday night. Yeah. Nope. Yep, that's it. So like GM's carbon, it's going to brown. That's just the way it is. And if you want to get decent quality carbon fiber, whether you're getting it from most of it, at least these two pieces from AGM or EOS, they're identical. So save the money and get it from EOS. I work a lot with EOS, Extreme Online Store. A lot of their carbon fiber for the C8 is really good stuff. Nice, Nate. You can't just relax on the fact that you won last week with $10. You got to do it 2 weeks in a row. No, and I agree. Tech Speed, 100%. I always thought that same thing. So what's doing it, they're putting something in the carbon fiber that's only for the outside. So they had mentioned it a long time ago with the C6. They talked about it being a special UV inhibitor. But the problem is that whatever they're doing, it's making it look brown, and then the UV is making it look even browner. So if it's a UV inhibitor, it's not working right. So I don't know. But it is only on the outside carbon. The inside is fine. Oh, perfect. Steve Robertson said he received his AI Box Ultra today. Have you had a chance to play with it yet? It's pretty cool. Yeah, Keith, it's not the interior. It's only the exterior carbon. The interior carbon fiber from GM is absolutely fine. I would highly recommend it. It does not change color. It doesn't look brown at all, and it never will because it doesn't get any UV on it. Jay, if that happens, you're going to hear me complaining a lot about it. And ultimately, I literally would not be against swapping all of the carbon fiber from factory out and getting it replaced with RSC carbon fiber because they have a ZR1 wing. So I could get the ZR1 wing, their side skirts. The only thing I wouldn't be able to match until they make it would be the boomerangs. But I'd have to get them to make all of it because their carbon fiber is a true gray/black, no brown, no purple. That's a nice looking dark gray carbon fiber. We're not even running the wheel tonight, Professor Corvette. So you got to copy that comment and paste it for next week. Yeah, it is really cold. I can't remember where you were from, Steve. But wherever you're from, you must not be too different from where I'm at because, yeah, it is ridiculously cold here. Seawolf, thank you for tuning in. Your constant support is definitely appreciated. That goes for all you guys. A lot of you guys in here. I'm seeing a bunch of green names now. You guys are all joining the memberships. I love that. It's really awesome to see all this happening. So I appreciate that, guys. We are going to move this to next week for the giveaway on these because I didn't get enough entries for these to really make sense. These are something I bought out of my pocket. So for this to make sense, I got to make at least a couple bucks on it. So, Tech Speed, which wing are you waiting for? Because they have the Z07 wing and the ZR1 wing right now. Oh, Carbon Flash. Okay, gotcha. Yep, 10 seconds Z06 says, thanks, Justin. See you all next week. Remember to hit the like button on your way out. I like it, guys. Smash the thumbs up. We made it to, looks like 175, which is pretty close to our 200 mark. Thank you all for all the support. We will see you same time, same place next Monday night. See ya.